Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to a very special edition of the Detour podcast because Jai Hindley has done it. Historic. He's done it. First Australian to ever win the Giro d'Italia. I'm your host, Dan Jones, joined by the man who's been there on the ground chatting with Jai most days, Johnny Trevorrow. And mate, how's the emotions?
Pretty special, actually. It's been wonderful. It's been great for Team BikeExchange-Jayco as well, winning the final stage. So, with 3 stages, that's turned everything around for them. It's wonderful. So, there he is, the boy in pink. Now, I got him this morning for the start, and we'd arranged to meet at a certain spot, but he got held up in press conference or whatever. So I'm actually not catching him till tomorrow morning. But, it's just been sensational.
Well, let's get straight into it. You caught up with Jai before the start. This is what he had to say.
Jai Hindley, here we are, morning of the last stage. You've just got into pink, and you've been here before, though, but very different circumstances.
It's pretty nice to be in pink on the ultimate, the last day, and pretty special, actually pretty similar circumstances to 2 years ago, but with a bit more time in hand this time.
Half a second to 1 minute 25, but more so, let's talk about yesterday. It was an amazing stage, and that was just a superb performance.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was, actually the finish there was just like, I'm still, I don't know, playing it over in my head, I can't really believe it all played out like that, and it was really, perfect teamwork actually to have Lenny up the road and then drop back at that moment, and then really give me like a slingshot up the final climb there to put pressure on Carapaz, and I didn't know if I was able to drop Carapaz or not, but I had to give it everything yesterday to see if I could, and was shaking the tree as hard as I could, and actually it paid off. So
we were watching it, Vazzy and I were in the car watching it, and I said, camera's got to stop now, and it's almost like he heard us because it was just the perfect tactic. So how much of that was prearranged?
Actually not too much, I mean, the original plan wasn't to have anyone in the break, but when this move went, Lenny snuck in there, and it was actually it was perfect, and the crazy thing is I also didn't say anything to him in the radio. I didn't say anything at all, like go faster or go slow or anything. I made the attack and then got across to him, and then he just knew what to do. He's like really is a really switched on bike rider, and to have him there in that key moment was super important, and really it was like a electric atmosphere on that final climb also, with the fans and everything. I was like I was hitting flags from all over, and it was super cool.
So we've been getting lots of texts and messages from Australia, especially from West Australia. Matty Pointer and Murray Hall, all the boys are all over the moon, of course. I'm very excited.
I mean, it's really nice to have all this support coming from back home, and especially from WA. It's really cool, and I really appreciate everyone staying up late and watching the racing, and sending me messages and everything. It's I really feel like I have the whole country behind me, and that's a really special feeling.
Now I know, 25. Everyone's nervous around here. I don't know why myself, but you must be pretty comfortable.
I mean, like I said, it's nice to have a bit more of a lead than 2 years ago, but it's definitely not over, and it's a hard 17k to come. But I actually quite like the TT circuit. It's not dead flat like 2 years ago. So prefer this circuit than to that one, and hope I can do a good ride also.
Look, good luck today, mate, and hopefully we'll find you somewhere to get a more of a wrap afterwards.
Yeah, beautiful. I'll keep an eye out for you, and take it easy, everyone, and hope you enjoy the final stage today back home.
Well, they certainly did enjoy the final stage. Fantastic interview, and just what a fantastic advertisement for Australian cycling. If you just the way he's conducted himself these 3 weeks, he's that quote that you got, went viral. The Bora guys said, "No socks on Caterpillars here." Just the ziggy zagger on one of cycling's biggest stages. It makes you so proud that not only he's the first Australian to do it, but what an advertisement, the way he's conducted himself on and off the bike.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. But it's not just an advertisement for Australian cycling; it's an advertisement for sportsmanship and the special people involved. Because, here he goes.
Keep talking.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. And if you saw, for those who are just listening, I'm sorry, but for the people who are watching, the vision in that last interview were all Vazzy. Vazzy went and shot all of that.
Yeah.
And you saw him when he walked past Carapaz, who was busy doing something, and he tapped him and they did the fist thump. And you saw the big smile come on Carapaz's face. It was appreciation of this guy deserves to win. It was pretty special. And I caught up with Rod Ellingworth, and he was full of praise. So, yeah, pretty special. There's a knock on the door. I think it's Vazzy, because I've told him he's been gone from the celebrations down below, but I'll go out the door for him. Hang on.
All right. Well, as we said, it's historic because there's been so many Australians over the journey that have gotten close to the Giro. We talked about names like Cadel Evans, Iffy, and they're not easy to win Grand Tours, and that's why he's been the first Australian, because it's taken this long. And there we have the man who's captured all those moments. Vazzy, how are you travelling, mate?
Brilliant. I brought Johnny a special Italian drink there. It's
looks like rocket fuel.
It's an Aperon.
Oh, it tastes like it too.
It's an Italian version of Jägermeister.
So we've been celebrating downstairs with the BikeExchange-Jayco team, and of course, it's been an amazing finale for them. But just going back to that point, Dan, you're spot on. They're hard to win. We almost won. Was it 4 years ago when you were there with the Colombian Australian?
We would have claimed it. We would have said he's sort of technically the first Colombian.
Well, we would have claimed it with Simon this year as well. But Cadel has been the only Australian Grand Tour winner until now. So now we have a second one and the first ever Giro, Australian to win a Giro. Just amazing stuff. And you know what? He is just a legend. He's just a gem of a guy. Just so refreshing and natural. It's just, really refreshing.
Scenes. This was straight after he crossed the line with his Bora sports director there.
Yep. Well, that could be his mate.
It could be his mate.
Mum and Dad were there as well, but I tried to get them, but they were hiding from me, but maybe not. But hopefully I'll get them all tomorrow morning, which will be wonderful.
We've got some live comments. Thomas says, love these podcasts, fellas. Jones, are you going to be doing some backstage videos at the tour? Absolutely. We'll be getting all the action in and around the race. Kim Dixon, spot on, Dan. So proud of all the Aussies in this race. Michael Matthews, bling. Yeah, boy. He's up and about. Simon Knowles, winner, chicken dinner. Huge congratulations to Jai. And Fitzy, Golf Pro. He says, what a future to be 26 and have a full team around him. Compare that to what Cadel was going through at the same age. Sky's the limit for Jai. That is a good point because, for a lot of the campaigns, Cadel would often say after the finish that he was isolated in the finals there. And it wasn't until sort of BMC, he had some sort of domestiques like Chris Horner and a few others around the Lotto days, but it wasn't until he got to BMC he had that full support and then went on to win it. Jai had fantastic support. We talked about Kamna's ride in the penultimate stage, but the Bora guys fully committed, and they made a clear message early in the race that they weren't here as Jai famously said, when I did put socks on centipedes, they went all chips in and they weren't intimidated and they backed themselves. And it just shows the power of belief, Iffy.
There was a stage early on, but let's go back almost 2 weeks, I guess, where a few Bora guys went up the road, and I wondered what they were doing, and at the end of that stage, I think there was a realization, hang on, what are we doing here? I think Jai might have just stepped up and said, hey, guys, I can win this. And so they all went, oh, okay, we maybe pull our heads in and just
commit.
It was just one day. I'll ask Jai tomorrow, and we'll find out the truth of all that. But from that day on, they were just all focused on Jai winning this bike race. And hey, a lot of people say, "Oh, why didn't you do this earlier?" Jai picked yesterday as the day where he was going to do it. It was all about that last stage up the Marmalada. And he did it perfectly. And, his teammate, that worked perfectly. He stopped where wouldn't have mattered. If Cameron hadn't been there, it might have been a minute 10 instead of a minute 25. He was still riding away. He already had Carapaz on the ropes. So Carapaz impressed me today. I didn't think he'd be able to get anywhere near Jai. I thought Jai would just beat him by 30 or 40 seconds today. And he managed to actually just beat Jai. But Jai rode fraction conservatively, as he should have, saving it a little bit up the climb to make sure he didn't go over the limit. Because the only way he could lose this was, one, get struck by lightning, or two, just absolutely blow up. You know what I mean? Just go into the red. Just, like what was his name? The Danish Rabobank Rasmussen, who
2005
did the worst time trial all time.
He was, what was he, second or third, and he blew out to like fifth, and he was bitten in the gutter.
It was
horrific.
Yeah, it was just horrific, and that was never likely to happen. And so he just rode that fraction conservatively, and even on the descents, whereas Carapaz was going harder into the corners, he
didn't need to do it.
Fraction.
Yeah,
no, and I'll tell you what. The win of Matteo Sobrero, it was wonderful to win the final time trial of a Grand Tour is pretty special. But
and being the Italian champion as well in Italy.
Yes, yeah, and the roads were slightly wet when he went down. So the guys who he beat rode on dry roads. So that would make it even more impressive.
Well, and Happy top 10 as well. Great ride by Michael.
Great ninth, yeah, exactly, and right in the mix. Only a few seconds off being even further up. So Van der Poel, I mean, look at him. Seriously, for someone who just put in every day, he's still within 40 seconds there. Pretty impressive. And Tymon Arsenman, he's the young DSM guy who we thought might have won the other day. Very impressive ride, but Matteo. Seriously, what an amazing young man he is. We interviewed him, which
I've got that coming up.
Coming up. But he's just such a gentle young man.
Well, any guy that gives you grog is one of your favourite riders. He's been pumping you with red wine throughout the month. So of course you're going to talk about it.
We'll agree with all of that. But I've got to tell you, I've got to know him over the 3 weeks. And if he wasn't a bike rider, I'd say he's a gentle soul. And if someone had said to me after knowing him for 3 weeks, not talking about the bikes, he also is a Grand Tour rider and can win. I said, no, that's not in his nature.
It's too nice.
Obviously. Yeah, too nice. But that's not the case where it's in there. But I got to say, here we go.
Andrew Blackmore. Do you want to read it, John?
Beautiful, humble man now, Iffy. And Dan worked in Hilton, McMurdo, Dennis Lightfoot Bike Shop in West Australia. Yep, as a kid with a dream, huge. Great coverage through the Giro. I look forward to the tour with you. If he get home, that means Australia. Yeah, we'll get back soon. But I got to say, I got Vazzy. We've got him part in the picture here. It's been fantastic traveling with Vazzy. We go back with
3 votes.
Yep, Vazzy, 35 years.
2 votes, John. 1 vote, Dan.
His professional work with the camera has been sensational. We finally got the microphone thing worked out.
Well, you guys, let's be honest, we can talk about it now. You kicked up a real stink at this race because you're the only guys in and around the buses, and they were wondering,
we
how
did
did
get
this
into
happen?
a bit of trouble.
Yeah, but we got through that. A little bit of ducking and weaving. And we had the sock back on for the last couple of days.
Just took the sock off for a couple of days. Don't draw any heat, and the sock come back on. SBS were loving it. Yeah.
There we go.
But what a race! What a race, though, to be over at, boys. Like you made the call a long way out, and you said we're going to the Giro this year. The fact that you are on the ground at a historic race like this, and I hope that this does spew over. Yes, it's not the Tour de France, but this is big. You know, this needs good coverage in Australia. This needs people to have a perspective around how historic this is for the sport. And Jai should be a household name on the back of this, and they should get the coverage that it deserves because it's never happened before.
It's the second biggest race in the world, Dan, as you know.
Well, and the purists love the Giro more than the Tour.
Many journalists call it the most beautiful race because it is amazing. And we've had a great finale. We were in the best hotel for the whole bloody 3 weeks. The food's been sensational. I had to leave the tiramisu. Did you eat yours?
I did on your behalf.
Thank you.
Yeah. But the atmosphere today was electric. It was just amazing in that Colosseum there. It was sensational.
It's it. They do it well. Having the riders come into the arena is just fantastic. It's a fantastic spectacle. And it's one I think they've done the Vuelta as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got a similar one there. They've done it in. But, as I mentioned later, the Giro that I rode finished in the same Verona Arena, and it's pretty special. You cross the line, you roll into that amazing arena, which is packed, and with the atmosphere there, it's pretty special.
All right, well, let's have a quick break. Then when we come back, we'll hear from Jai post-race, and then we've got the wash-up from the Green Edge boys. So stay tuned for plenty more.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Feel more in every moment. The all-new Lexus NX.
Massive thanks to Bike Exchange. Go to bikeexchange.com.au. Without their support, we wouldn't have been able to do the detour from its inception on from the beginning. I haven't got to that yet, John. You're very snappy. And then, of course,
he's been like that all tour.
Oh, I can only imagine, Bazzy. And I could only imagine the images are still probably burnt into your retina when you stayed in that hotel with the glass door and the bathroom right at the end of your bed, Matt. So you'll probably need counselling when you get back. But I went through a similar experience to the 2005 Tour de France when I was only 23 and walked in on Iffy giving himself a Belgian shower. So that took about 18 months. Anyway, Lexus of Blackburn. Go to lexusofblackburn.com.au. There it is, Blake Quick, Ruby
Andrew Moore,
Rosen,
sensational supporter of cycling. Lexus Blackburn Bay quits over the last 3 years. And I am going to talk to Jai about a free contract for the Bakewits for next year. But I know he's very keen to ride the Jayco Herald Sun Tour, so it hasn't been officially announced whether it's going to be happening or not, but he wants to come back.
It'll be a big draw card.
How great would that be?
And also get down to Mitchelton. Get down to Nagambie, mitchelton.com.au. They've got a great selection of wines. If you like batting around the top end, get down to the Mitchelton Shiraz, the Prince Shiraz. That's the top of the tree in terms of wines in this country. And
well, they've got a few top of the trees. But it's just an amazing place. I'm lucky enough to have a little cabin up there, not quite in that complex, but not far away, and on the banks of the Goulburn there. It's just amazing. Vazzy's been up and joined me up there, and great cycling around that area. But Mitchelton Winery is something special. It just, if you're lucky enough to stay there, it's even better. But not just beautiful wine, it's a beautiful area. It's become, the wedding central place in Victoria. I mean, every weekend they've now got weddings on Friday night, a couple on Saturday, a couple on Sunday, and some on Monday. That's how popular it's become, because it is so special.
Yeah, well, let's hear from Jai Hindley post his win at the Giro d'Italia.
Congratulations! You won't leave this trophy alone now. You keep it all the time. Yeah. It's. I think it's the most beautiful trophy I've ever seen, and definitely the most beautiful trophy I've ever held. So, yeah, it's a real honour and a privilege to get my name on here, and amongst these names, it's really incredible, and it's a beautiful moment for me. What an achievement! Also, after the setback last year, the doubts, you made it, and you made it in a way like you planned it almost. It was like you planned this last climb, like in the most classy way, if I can say. Yeah, like I've said, last year was super tough for a lot of reasons, like I couldn't get back to Australia, and I had a super rough season on the bike, and it was, mentally it was a really hard year, if I'm honest. And to be back at the Giro, one of my favourite races, and to be at the pointy end and racing for the win was, just that in itself was massive for me. But to come away with the win here after 3 weeks of racing, it's like really incredible. And it's just really just lost for words, guys. And you showed also today that you had this improvement in TTs that we talked about yesterday. You improved yourself in your TTs. Yeah, I mean, I think the TT today compared to 2 years ago was better suited to me, with this climb and descent. So, in saying that, I've also done quite a lot of work, and my team, Bora Hansgrohe, invested quite a lot of time and energy into, helping me get better at time trialing, with spending time in the wind tunnel at Specialized, and specific training with the time trial bike, and today paid off. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm happy I didn't have a repeat of 2020.
Yeah, fantastic.
No repeat. No repeat.
Now, we said at the top of the show that you caught up with all the Green Edge guys. There's some fantastic insights and interviews here. So here's a compilation of all the grabs. You bloody gave me a lot of work there, Vazzy, but all good. That's why you get up early, mate. But here's all the grabs with Iffy and the Bike Exchange-Jayco team.
Gave you a day's warning. One sentence to epitomise this Giro.
Perseverance always pays off.
One sentence makes it hard. Up, down, Aussie wins.
Yeah, I'll follow in Lucas's footsteps. Roller coaster, up and down, literally and figuratively. 3-stage wins for us. Can't complain too much.
Fast, mountainous, full of ups and downs for our team, and historic day for Australian cycling.
3 weeks, 3 wins, and a great month away with the Green Edge team.
Okay, last one. Lawson, I see you've enjoyed your last day with your family turning up, 2 gorgeous little ones. But give it to us, your quick summation.
It's the best of times, it's the worst of times, but damn it, Oh, if I didn't learn what a bunch of good blokes Aussies are, and having like basically Steve Irwin in the radio all race long, I'll be damned. Best 3 weeks of my life.
Okay, Matteo, stage winner, final day of the Giro, but we wanted your quick impressions of this Giro d'Italia.
Yeah, if I can describe the Giro in really short, I can say for me it was like a roller coaster, let's say, because we begin really in the beginning was really good, like with Simon. He won the stage. I was fourth, white jersey for me, so I was really, really high. And then the crash of Simon, so he went out of the GC, so then was down, and then he won again the touring stage. It was really emotional for all the team, but then he has to leave, and also for the team was not good. But in the end, we go up again. So with today with the win, so yeah, for me it was a roller coaster.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Okay, Brent Copeland, General Manager of Team BikeExchange-Jayco. We've just finished a 3-week monster of a Grand Tour. What are your impressions of the event?
The event in general is fantastic. The Giro is a beautiful race. For us as a team, it's been a Giro of highs and lows, very high and very low, but I think if we can look over the last 3 weeks and the way the technical staff have turned things around after Simon had the crash at the Etna stage, I think we can go away from this Giro really pleased, because to win 3 stages is something for any team, but to win both time trials in a Grand Tour with 2 different riders, I think that says a lot for the team and the effort and work that everyone's put in, and the work that our partners have invested in us for over the last few months. I think it's definitely shown over these 3 weeks. Obviously, it would have been lovely to be here with Simon, to be racing for the podium or even the pink jersey. But that's our sport, you know. Accidents happen and crashes happen, and we have to deal with it. And I think everyone dealt with it in the best way and turned it around, and we came out of it with morale high. So we can move on.
That we did. Now, for those listening and watching, they will catch there's a South African accent there. Just tell us a little bit about your story.
I've been in Europe for 28 years. So I came over with the dream of becoming a professional cyclist in 1994. Came to Switzerland, raced for a Swiss club. And then I raced for 3 years, never turned professional, unfortunately, and decided to head off back home to South Africa. And I was offered opportunity to work for a cycling team in Italy, which I took immediately. And I did my master's course, trainer's course, and eventually my sports director's course. So by the age of 27, I was the youngest sports director on the professional scene in that year. And ever since then, just gone up from sports director to general manager. And I did do 4 years in a different sport, in MotoGP, which was a fantastic experience. And then came back into cycling because that's what my love is. And it's been many, many years now that I've been in the sport, but love it. Beautiful sport.
And it's interesting. I've spent the last 3 weeks with the team and with you from part of that, but you've been in and out because it's not just this bike race you're running. You've got a women's team who have been dominating at the moment, and another, the other riders ready for other events which are going on at the same time. So people wouldn't realise just how much is involved.
It's a huge organisation now, John. It's become complicated because logistics in cycling is complicated. I've worked in different sports, and cycling is the most complicated sport as far as logistics is concerned. And like you said, we have the men's team and the women's team. We're 110 people in total, which is a huge organisation on its own. And we race in sometimes 4 events on the same day, if you look at the women and the men's team combined. So, it's a lot of work, and it's not just the Giro that we're at. We actually did 4 different races while we were on this Giro during these 3 weeks. So I'm backwards and forwards, and it's a lot of work to do. But we're just so fortunate to have an owner and a passionate person like Jerry Ryan, who gives so much to this team, and with our team just wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, exactly. And to Australian cycling over many, many years. But look, thanks very much, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be bottle boy and team mascot for the last 3 weeks. It's been sensational, mate.
The pleasure's been ours, really. It's been fantastic to have you here, and I think this is part of what the sport is about, the 3 weeks and the camaraderie that's created during these 3 weeks, and the competition itself is what we all drive for. But everything else around it is what the sport is about. So it's been a lovely 3 weeks, and to end it off on this way with Sobrero winning today, no better way than that.
Sensational. Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Well, Matty, it's been a solid 3 weeks. Just your thoughts on the whole Giro d'Italia.
Yeah, look, we had a pretty big build up for this race. We came here with high goals. We wanted to win the Giro. We've come close a few times with different people, and obviously it's a race that Simon's put a lot of effort into, and it's a passion for him to try to win the Giro. And we came in to try to win, and unfortunately, some things you can control and some things that you can't. And the accident on one of the early stages, Mount Etna, when we arrived in Italy, it derailed our plan to win the Giro, but we had to change our focus and focus on other targets during the race. And in that sense, we can be a little bit content that we finished with 3 stage wins. If we have you got to have a different mindset. You got to move on quickly. It's a sport that requires that if you want success. And any team loses more than they win. We start 250 race days a year, and no team wins more than 30 or 40. So, the teams who can move on quick, refocus, and deal with the situation quickly, with the resources they've got, are the successful ones. So it's in summary, it's been a good week.
It's been an amazing week, actually, because not only on the Giro, but the girls have won 4 out of 5, or was it 5 out of 6? I think in Germany, and then during this Groningen as well, and it's just been an amazing. Caden finished second or third overall.
9 wins since the Giro started. For the organisation, so it's been a mega week for the ladies there. 4 out of 5 stages and overall. It has been. It hasn't been a normal season by any means, but we're in a good place, and we're just going to keep the ball rolling.
Well, I've had an absolute ball over the last 3 weeks as the team mascot and chief bottle giver out. I got to tell you, you guys have bloody welcomed us, and we've had an absolute ball.
Thanks, mate. No, it's been good to have you back. It's been a couple of years. COVID's derailed a few plans for people's holidays and come and visit in the biggest bike race of the year. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot more Aussies back on the roads come July for the Tour de France. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, and go Jai. A great victory by Jai today.
It was. And hats off to him. He rode a very tactically astute race, always in control there, and did enough to beat the rivals that he faced. And no, look, he showed that potential a couple of years ago at the Giro, finishing second to Tao Guggenhardt, and to come this year to deliver, very, very impressive, and a big day for cycling in Australia as well.
Thanks, bud.
Hi, John.
Fantastic wrap there from the boys. Iffy, you're looking for a grab. The Matteo
we interviewed. The first person we interviewed was Matteo Sombrero from, after winning the stage. So
the audio was a bit light, but we used that second grab you had with him wrapping up.
Yeah, it was. Okay, all right. But you talked about the time. Okay, well, if you haven't got it, I've got him sitting there. I know he's sitting downstairs watching this.
But we used a grab of his in that comp package, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a little grab. They all had to do their summation, but we also interviewed him about his stage win.
Okay. Well, you
keep
talking
it to you right now.
Yeah, no, you keep talking. I think it's definitely in there somewhere, but
it is in there. But Vazzy's.
I'm redoing it now. It's just.
Oh yeah, hang on, I've got it here.
He's an amazing young man.
Yep. Anything else you want to add before we?
No. Just look. I just wanted to thank our sponsors. Look, we'll do a wrap tomorrow, and I'll give Vazzy his big wrap tomorrow because he's been absolutely amazing. Rooming with me is a tough enough job, but being on hand, doing all of the, and having to sit in the passenger seat, clinging on for dear life a lot of the time. He's been great. But it's been an amazing 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, whatever it is. I've done a lot of tours and whatever, but being embedded like this, I've always done bits with the team and hand out bottles and that, but actually becoming part of the team, I got to tell you, the send-off, a lot of people left tonight, but the camaraderie, the special relationship between all of these staff members and the riders is something else. You can see there is an affection, really, really special between them. And I heard a few of the guys, even though they want to get back to their wives, they almost feel like they're leaving that other family. So it's been really something else.
Yeah, well, thanks for all your hard work on the ground, particularly you, Vaz. You've done a sensational job getting all these interviews up the stick, as they say in the classics. And thanks to all the viewers for tuning in and all the support, youtube.com/Detour Podcast. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
Did you find Matteo?
Yeah, I did. We can do a proper wrap up tomorrow, mate. I've got to get the kids to
we'll put it in tomorrow.
Yep, I'm under the pump, mate.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, thanks for all the support, guys. We'll be back again. We're wrapping things up tomorrow, are we? Well, I've got to get up early again. I want to bloody sleep in.
Well, hey, we've got absolutely keen fans out there, and so we're going to do a little wrap tomorrow. I mean, that's up to you, mate. If you've got bigger things and other things to do, I can understand. But
Yeah. Well, what we might do is like if you get a grab with Jai, we'll do a proper show where we'll go back to our original time later in the week, or even when you get back, and we'll talk to Matty Pointer in Perth, Dave Sanders.
That's good.
We'll do it properly.
Yep.
So then that way you can just relax, get your grabs, and we'll show those later in the week, probably on Thursday.
Okay. Sounds good.
No worries.
All right.
Thanks for the support, guys. Well done, guys. Enjoy a shoot of that, and we'll be back again soon. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
See you, mate.
This is the winning ride of the Tour de France.